everyone. This is Venkat. Today I am going to teach you how to install MRP II in Focus ERP. Okay, to install MRP II in Focus ERP, you need to log in into Focus with your credentials. Once it is logged into Focus, you need to go to the settings option. Then click on configure transactions. When you click on configure transactions, here on the left hand side you will see MRP tab. Okay, when you click on MRP tab, here you will get all the MRP preferences. Here in the MRP preferences, you have to set the procurement voucher, like from where your purchase process flow starts, right from indent to payment voucher. Okay, so here we have to configure the procurement voucher as material requisition. Once this is configured, the type as MRP as an MRP or MPS. So we are giving as MRP here. Regarding the MPS, we will discuss in the next session. Okay, so here you have to select as MRP. Here you have a default number of days for planning in MRP end date. Any sales order you received, for every sales order, if you want to set a due date from 0 to so and so many days, you can set it here. So I am just setting as 45 days. You can set it here, the required days, by clicking this option. Okay, so based on the sales order days, by default it takes the MRP end days as 45 days. So here again in this option you have to tick on tracked based on order. Once this option is ticked, you have to click on update. Okay, these are the preferences. Okay, before these preferences, there is one more setting which you have to activate in the system. That is settings. You have a settings wizard. Okay, in the settings wizard we have MRP 1 as well as MRP 2. Okay, you have to enable this. Okay, right now it is already enabled. You will get a checkbox here. You have to enable this and you have to press on update. Once this is updated, you have to do the re-indexing. That re-indexing option you will find in home button, data management, re-index. Here you have to select full re-index. And then click OK. Okay, once the re-indexing is done, there are some implementation guidelines which you need to follow. Okay, once the full re-indexing is done, you will get a message that the indexing is finished. Okay, so after this indexing is done, you need to go to the production menu in transactions. Okay, in the financials, in the production menu you have MRP settings. Okay, in the MRP settings you will find MRP preferences. Okay, in this MRP preferences, in the first tab you have to click this consider clear stocks. Now here there are so many options. Based on your requirement, you can just go through these options. Whichever is required, you can check these options. Yes, then here you have a default scheduling type. So some people will use the backward scheduling, some people will use the forwarding scheduling. So I am going with the forwarding scheduling here. In the next video I will tell you what is forwarding schedule and backwarding schedule in detail. Okay, okay, here again you have after the MRP you have a transaction option here. Here you need to set all your entry vouchers which are related to production. Now issues to production, which voucher you want to tag. So you can select the required voucher here and you can tag all the vouchers here. Here received from production, I have tagged to received from production. issues to job work. In case if your manufacturing is done outside with a subcontractor, so you can even select these vouchers, like when you issue to job worker, what voucher it has to be tagged. So I have tagged a job work issues here. When you receive any material from your job work vendor, then you have to tag job work receipts, okay, like this. So whenever you issue any job to your vendor, through which voucher you have to issue it. So here I have tagged job order. Okay, any materials if you are getting written from your manufacturing unit, so from which voucher it has to be updated. So I have tagged written from shop floor voucher, which will update the inventory. In case of any material received from job work vendor, then you have one more voucher called written from shop floor. Okay, same voucher. Okay, I am tagging to the same voucher even if I am receiving from the job vendor. In case if you want any other voucher to be tagged, yes, you can generate that voucher, you can create that voucher, and then you can tag that voucher. Regarding the procurement in charge and the production in charge, it depends on the user profiles and roles. Okay, so I have select by default as users and groups here, both the places. Then I update here. Okay, once this is done, I'm just showing you all the guidelines here, implementation guidelines. This is what I have did till here in the production MRP settings, preferences. I have done all the settings. Then after that, we have a log file in the temp folder. We have to check that log file whether all the menus are inserted or not. Okay, once that is done, then in the configuration settings, as I shown you in the last attempt, that material requisition has to be set, like for the purchase workflow. Then after this, we have to design a workflow. So we have to design a workflow right from material requisition, purchase order, MRN, and purchase voucher. Okay, to design this workflow, what we need to do is we have to go to design workflow. You can type that design workflow here, or you just type the design workflow. You'll see here, when you click here, I have already designed a procurement process workflow here. When I select this procurement and press tab, see, this is my workflow: material requisition, purchase order, purchase voucher. So I am not taking any MRN here. I am updating my stocks as well as finance through purchase voucher. So once these documents are linked, okay, you just click on this bar. So here you will get what is the link value to be set. So you have to set the quantity, item, and you have to check these fields, item and quantity. Okay, when you go to properties, okay, here if you want to check any required option, yes, you can check here. Other than this, you have settings option here. Here you have an option called relate to. So for the first link, it should be none. Okay, so once it is done, you press OK. And for the purchase order and purchase voucher link, here you see I have checked vendor account, item and quantity. So based on the particular vendor, my purchase orders will be loaded. Okay, then I go to the settings here. Now here you see relate to. I have selected purchase orders because it's a purchase order voucher. Okay, then I have properties. I have checked load base document details at the time of linking because I want to copy some content from purchase order to purchase voucher. So that is the reason I have selected this. Like this, you have to create the workflow. Once the workflow is created, you just click on save. Okay, you just relog in it. Once it is created, just relog in it. Once the workflow is created, then you have to create a workflow for sales as well. Okay, now I am going to show you the sales workflow. Okay, in the sales workflow, I have just selected sales order versus sales invoice. You click on this bar. Here again, I have selected a customer account as a key field, link value as quantity, item and item. Okay, here if I go to the map fields, then I have all the map fields what I have mapped from the base voucher to the link voucher. Okay, if you want to map any other fields, yes, you can select here. Okay, again in the properties, I have not selected anything, or I can select load based document details at the time of linking. Yes, this also you can check. Okay, now if you want to see my settings, here you see related to sales order. For sales workflow, I have selected related to sales order. This you have to select. Okay, once these workflows are done and saved, okay, then what we have to do is we have to create a calendar. We have a masters on calendar, capacity, work center and process. Okay, so the calendar is basically on what days you are working. Okay, we have a calendar option here. You can just type calendar. Okay, you just type calendar here. So you will be getting a calendar here. In this calendar, you can create a calendar which days, what time you are going to work from Monday to Saturday. So in case if you have two shifts, you can define shift A, shift B, shift C. So based on those timings, the calendar is created. Okay. In case if you are working on Sundays also, you can check this option. So there is an option called apply timing, timing all to all days. So that means every day your calendar start from 9 AM to evening around 6:30 PM. Okay. So in case of any change, we can even change the timings. Okay, like this calendar can be created. Then after the calendar, you have to create a capacity. Okay, you can create a capacity. Okay, capacity. And if you talk about capacity, what is this capacity? Capacity is nothing but how much capacity of your plant has. Like capacity A, which plant will be doing, capacity B, which plant will be doing. And for capacity, what is the category of the capacity? Is it labor or machine? So I am just creating this capacity as machine. In case if it is labor, you can even give a labor. Okay, so you have to create the capacity. Once the capacity is created, then you have work center. What is your work center? Now work center is like you may be having different work centers where you manufacture your finished goods or intermediate products. Okay, now work center I have created as work center A. Now again category I am assigning as machine. Okay, here in capacity I have to define capacity A, how much that particular work center will produce. So I have a formula for processing formula. Even this processing formula I will explain when we do MRP II video. Okay, so I will explain how this formula will be calculated. So this is purely based on that particular machine calculation each hour how much quantity it will produce. So like this, how many work centers you have, you can create it and you can give the formula. Work center you can treat as a machine also. Okay, so we have a process master. This is not that important. Okay, so we have to map capacity in work center in capacity tab. Then after this we have to create a bill of material. Okay, in the bill of material we have to define all the raw materials. Okay, all the raw materials. Okay, so these processes I will explain you in the next video. I'm just showing you only the installation part here. Okay, so this covers the installation part. Okay, once this is done, after reindexing you need to relog in it. Okay, once you relog in, okay, so you go to settings, configure settings. here when you click on MRP, okay, so all these contents will come here. After activating, these contents will come. Okay, so if you want to see whether MRP is activated or not in this particular company, so you need to go to settings and then you have to go to the settings wizard. When you click on MRP 1, see here it is not updated. Okay, if you see here MRP 2 enabled on this company, if it is not enabled, it will show like this. Okay, when you click on update, then it will show this message. That means MRP 2 is enabled in your company. So in the next video, I am going to show you how to run MRP. Thank you very much for watching this video. Thank you.